Hello. So as you can tell, I'm in the boutique and I have a lot of downtime today. I'm at a market and it's really slow. So, I like to use this time to maybe answer questions that I get, or just talk about things that are entrepreneurial related. I get a lot of direct messages about just being a full-time marketeer and what that entails and what that looks like, in addition to the boutique and the logistics of the boutique. So since I have this downtime right now, I wanted to just talk, and if I have to pause the video, it's because a customer came in and I'm going to assist them, and then I'll come back to the video. So if you see pauses, that's what's happening. So let's talk about a couple of things, right? Let's do a mental health check-in. I get that from this one YouTuber that I watch. He always does mental health check-ins, and I think that's really good, and I'll start doing it when I do my videos in the boutique, because a lot of times we as entrepreneurs, we're always just so busy and on the go. And like I always say in any interview that I've done, my sign just fell down, so give me a moment. Let me pick my sign back up. All right, so I'm back. It's a little breeze, so the wind sometimes blows the sign down. But like as entrepreneurs, we're always posting content. Well, I know for me, I'm not gonna say as entrepreneurs, because I can only tell you about my experience, and my experience is not everyone else's. And I'm always very careful about that, because I get kind of frustrated when you have these people on social media that tell you you should be doing it this way to gain success or that way to gain success, when in reality there's so many ways to reach success, and to just dub one as the way, I mean, it's not God. We know he's the way, but success comes in many different forms and many different paths. So I always like to say, this is my experience. So I'm always posting content, and a lot of what I do is colorful, bubbly. That's just kind of how I branded my business, because that's who I am at my core. I've always just kind of been this bubbly, very colorful, energetic girl, and now woman. And so my brand is centered around that. Hi, how are you?
Good.
So my brand is centered around being that colorful personality. But that's my brand. Then there's me. And when you're this person that's always on social media doing the song and dance, people think you're good, you're okay. Whether it be financially, whether it be emotionally, they think you are good. We don't need to check on you, you're good. I get so many DMs from people. Some people literally just ask me to be their mentor. And then there are people who don't necessarily say, can you be my mentor? But they're asking me questions as if I'm their mentor, because they see what they see and they just think it's all rainbows and sunshine. And it's not. It's not. There's a lot of hard times that comes with entrepreneurship. So that's kind of what I want to talk about today. Yesterday I had a really traumatic experience. I posted about it on my YouTube and on my Instagram. And I guess it's got me feeling some type of way. So, I'm getting a little emotional because, give me a second. Okay, I'm back. I got my tissue. Just feeling a little, overwhelmed. Okay, we're gonna get it together. Get it together, girl. Get it together. Okay. Woo, okay. So there's just a lot. Okay. So let's talk about some of the things that, just as an entrepreneur on a daily basis, what you have to deal with. For one, now let me make something very clear. This entrepreneurial journey that I'm on is one of the most exciting, exhilarating, fun, adventurous things I have ever done in my life. I would not change it for anything. And I say that because it's like, girl, if you're not happy, just get out of it. No, I'm actually 100% happy. Is it always rainbows and sunshine? It's not. And I wouldn't dare go back to corporate America. I did this in corporate America times 10. Every day I was crying in corporate America. I was having panic attacks in corporate America. I was doing all the things. Hi. Just a second. Okay, so I'm back and I'm better. You know, customers always, I love my customers, and I think, I just love talking to them and getting to know their stories and helping them pick fragrances. So that always makes me happy. So my tears are all gone. Now I can talk. I was talking about some of the hardships that come with entrepreneurship, and one of the things is your income. You don't know what's going to happen. You prepare your products, you throw your love into them, and then you go out and you pray that your customers will come and your relationships will come, but you never know. And there have been days when literally I've only made 2 sales. And then there have been days when I've made lots of sales. And those are the days that you're just so happy and you're so filled with joy and you're just so thankful that you left your corporate America job. But then there are those days that when you only make the 1 sale or no sales and you're like, should I have stayed in corporate America? And although I know I would never go back to corporate America on my own admission, just me voluntarily going, just because that wouldn't happen. So I know I made the right decision choosing full-time entrepreneurship, but not knowing what your income is going to be can be most taxing on your mental health, because you don't know if you're going to be able to pay your bills. You know, you don't know. And that's the reality of it is, unless you have recurring income coming in on a regular basis, you don't know. And that's scary. And that's why a lot of people quit and go back to corporate America. They would rather have the security of knowing they're going to get their paycheck every week and it's going to be this amount versus going out there and chancing it. The beautiful thing about that is that I think I have a customer. Give me 1 second. Oh, okay. The beautiful thing about all of that is you literally could make a killing. I have. There have been days that have been so lucrative that I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I could get used to this. And those are the days that, like I said, you're so happy and filled, and that's the risk you take. And that's the risk that I'm willing to take, and that is the risk that I take every day. But it is very hard when sales are down and markets are closing because of one reason or the other. A lot of times, just because it's raining, I can't work a market. And although we don't get a lot of rain in California, we do get rain. So anytime there's rain, a substantial amount of rain, I mean, if it's sprinkling, I'll still go out. You know, if it's just mildly or lightly sprinkling, I will go out to an event. But if it's pouring down raining, which it can do, and it has done, I can't work. So I miss a whole day worth of wages. And that's just the gamble. You roll your dice, you roll them, and you hope for the best. You hope that the markets are lucrative, the weather is right, and the people love candles, right? I'm at this market now, and it's extremely slow. I think I've only had 2 sales, and I've only got 2 more hours left. And anything can happen in an hour. I've been at markets where I've been there for literally all day, and in the last hour I get flooded with sales. So anything can happen, but you do have to understand that in the game of full-time vendor entrepreneurship, these things can happen. Your finances go up and down, up and down, up and down. So that's one thing. Another thing that I've never really addressed, but I would like to talk about it now, there's a lot of racism in being a vendor, being what we're called street vendors. Because although we're at markets, I guess you could call yourself a market vendor. I guess that's a fancier way of saying it. I'm a market vendor, but we're technically categorized as street vendors, and there is so much racism in it. Oh my goodness, let me tell you, I cannot tell you how many times, because I have mirrors in my boutique. I don't know, I have mirrors. So hi, how are you doing? I'm well, thank you. So there is I'm sorry, I thought I had a customer, but they just wanted to look. There's a lot of racism in marketing, and vendor, being a marketeer. And I'll give you an example of what I experience almost at every market. It never fails. I have mirrors in my boutique, as you can see. I have mirrors, and a lot of times I can see customers before customers can see me. So I'll see a customer coming and they'll be all excited, like they're coming straight from my boutique. There's like no one on the side of me. There's no other vendor. They're coming. They get to that door. They see me and they immediately turn around. Immediately. And I don't know any other way to categorize that other than racism. You came enthusiastic because you saw the boutique, you saw this in the boutique, and immediately decided, nope, want no parts of it. And that happens to me at least, I don't know, 40 to 50% of the time I'm at markets. It happened today. Individuals walk and they see, and then they see me, and they immediately turn around. They didn't look at the candles. They didn't look at the sprays. They didn't look at anything but me. Saw me and immediately turn around. So that happens a lot, and it's very discouraging. I mean, it is what it is. I'm from the South. I'm from Arkansas, and I dealt with a lot of racism growing up. It just was what it was. It was like the new normal, right? Obviously, that's not normal ever, but it happened so much. It just was like, oh, okay. It is heartbreaking to see, because otherwise you would have come in here and you would have had this experience, but you couldn't get past who you saw at this desk. So that is another thing that I personally deal with. I can't say other vendors deal with this, but I personally have dealt with it. And another thing that's kind of on the lighter side of vending, and this will be the last thing that we talk about. Another thing that's on the lighter side of vending, vendors will come and spin with you, which is beautiful, right? You're making sales, but then they expect for you to go back and spin with them, and that seems fair, right? You scratch my back, I scratch yours. But a lot of times you might not be in a financial position to go and spend with a vendor. You're here to make your money. You're not here to spend it. But they're like, oh, they buy stuff and they're like, oh, come see me too. And you're like, oh my gosh. So now you're in this position where you've made money, but you're giving it right back. And that happens almost 100% of the time. It happened today. A vendor came over, bought a spray and was like, yeah, I'm over there. Come see me and check out my stuff. And I'm like, okay, but in reality, I'm like, I didn't come here to spend. I came here to work. And I don't ever have the expectancy that come spend with me. If I'm buying with you, it's because I want to buy with you. It's not because I'm expecting you to come back to me and spend with me. If you want to do that, that's beautiful, that's great, that's amazing, but that is not what my intent is for spending with you is. So that's one of the things that's like, oh gosh, and then you have this guilt when you don't do it, right? So when you don't go over and you don't patronize their business like they patronized yours, it's like, I don't want them to think that, I didn't want to do business with them. It's just that I'm not here to spend money. I'm here to make it. And a lot of vendors don't understand that. But yeah, just wanted to take this time to just go over a couple of things that I deal with as a full-time entrepreneur. Like I said, I get a lot of questions in my DMs on Instagram just about how the game is and how I do certain things, and just want to start kind of answering questions about how certain things work, because social media does glamorize entrepreneurship. Like, they make it look so beautiful, and although it has its moments where it's beautiful and you're like, yes, so glad I made this decision, that is not always the case. And a lot of times you have more downs than ups, but that's what life is about, right? Going up and down, up and down. But I'm going to stick with it. I'm excited to see what becomes of Whiffs on Wheels. I have no idea. Every day I just put one foot in front of the other. I say my prayers and I hope for the best. But in reality, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just winging it. Just like my eyeliner. Just winging it. But keep me in your prayers. Keep my business in your prayers. I thank you guys for all your support. Cannot do it without you. And let's see where this wild and crazy ride takes us.